Good morning, welcome to GrainTV. Today's April 10th, 2012. I'm Logan Burgess. To my right is Brock Shimno. Brock this morning brought us the April USDA WASDE report. Let's jump right into these numbers. What are we looking at here for ending stocks?
Yeah, corn really had a disappointing non-revision lower. Feed use and ethanol use were not revised at all, so we left the ending stocks at 801 million bushels. The industry was kind of looking for a revision lower by about 80 million bushels. We didn't see it. As for wheat, we saw revisions higher on the feed use for the first quarter by about 35 million bushels, accounting for most of the 32 million bushels lower in the ending stocks for wheat. And beans, really the big story this morning. We saw exports revised higher by 15 million bushels and crushings revised higher by 15 million bushels, giving us lower ending stocks by about 25 million bushels.
Yeah, Brock, kind of helping that out here was the situation out of South America. As you can see here, the USDA did go ahead and lower the expected production out of Brazil by about 2.5 million metric tons here. This was kind of in line with what we saw Informa come out with on April 4th. So it wasn't a big surprise, but kind of the big story here is that we did, as a result of this lower production, we did see an increase by about 15 million bushels in the expected exports out of the U.S. at the end of the marketing year here. If we take a look here, this was from last week. We're in week 30 right now, and per our model, we're about 10 million bushels ahead of pace. With this 15 million bushel increase, that kind of brings us in line with our model, but it'll be really interesting to see on Thursday here for the export sales report. We'll break this model down in depth here and kind of see where, with this revision, where do we sit right now. Kind of the other story out of South America is the corn situation. As you can see here, Brazil production was left unchanged. Out of Argentina, the second largest corn exporter in the world, second only to the US of A. As you can see here, where the revision lower by about 500,000 metric ton. Not really a big revision there, but that does leave Argentina with about only 1 million metric tons of ending stocks in the USDA's model here. So that's razor thin ending stocks. It doesn't look like they're going to have to limit export sales, but that's certainly something to keep an eye on here. Kind of turning our attention back to the northern hemisphere. We saw yesterday crop progress come out. Looks like this wheat crop's off to a great start here.
The wheat crop is off to a really good start. We saw another bump in the good to excellent ratings by 3% for the southern plains. Compared to last year, we're only at 36% good to excellent. But the big story is the corn planting, the progress that we have there. We see that we're 7% planted this year so far. Illinois is actually 17% planted, and Indiana 6% planted. If you take a look at the last column on this table, you'll notice that that is the day that we achieved this percent planted last year. So last year, April 17th is when we got 7% planted. We're a week ahead of that pace. And for spring wheat, we're a full month ahead. Last year we saw it 21% planted on May 8th. This year, we already have that achieved as of April 8th. So we're a full month ahead on the spring wheat crop.
Yeah, Rockwell, looks like this is off to a really great start here. As any developments come out across the newswire that will affect this crop, we'll be tweeting about it. At GrainTV is where you can find us on Twitter. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back and see how the market reacts to this WASDE report.
Grain hedge is more than just futures trading. Clients receive our cash grain optimizer showing spot and forward bids within 200 miles of your farm. We take into account your trucking costs to find your best selling opportunity. We provide in-depth basis mapping, historical basis and cash price charting. Every day we show you your best price and if it meets your profit goals. Contact GrainHedge today to get started.
Welcome back to GrainTV. The markets are open in Chicago, so let's turn over to the FireTip trading software for the live quotes. Corn is down 3.5 cents, soybeans up 7.5 cents, wheat down 1/4 cent in Chicago, and Kansas City wheat off 3/4 cent. Looks like again soybeans are a leader to the upside. We've got some fundamental revisions to the South American production, but from a technical standpoint, how are we looking, Logan?
Yeah, Brock, well, it looks like beans are really the leader to the upside here. Let's take a look here at a May daily chart for soybeans. As you can see here, we've come a long ways just in the last several months. Thing to note, though, is that 1450 level is going to be a major area of resistance here to the upside. Yesterday, we failed to close above that, 1446. It's going to be important to keep an eye on this contract if you're a producer out there holding old crop beans. If we get above 1450, it should provide support to the downside. Right now, though, it's really acting as resistance. You know, this bean market's really been on a run. Let's zoom out a little bit here and just see how far we've come here since last year. And you can really see that this market, there's a lot of buyers in this market right now. Funds are extremely net long. You know, this bull market's going to need to continue to get fuel to keep this thing going higher. You know, maybe keep an eye on the close today. If we can close actually lower today, that may be a signal that this market's due for a little bit of correction. What's kind of your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. You know, on the RSI indicator, we do see that we are in overbought territory. We're sitting at about 74 on the RSI. Overbought usually is around 70. So I think this market is due for a little bit of a correction. If we don't get past this 1450 in the next couple sessions, I believe that we will sell off here for a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. We'll keep you posted here on the soybean market. If you need to go out in your fields today and work, follow us on Twitter, as we said earlier, at GrainTV is where you can find us. One more thing to note here, we did see ending stocks of wheat revised lower in this report today. It sounded like a lot of feeding operations are starting to use wheat as a substitute for corn. Right now on the board in Chicago, it looks like corn is trading at a 4-cent premium over wheat. At Grain Edge here, we have a lot of cash market data. We're going to take a look at that at basis for corn and wheat here after the show. And on tomorrow's show, we'll kind of break down the cash market, what's going on in the ground, what is the corn premium in the cash market over wheat. So be looking for that tomorrow. That kind of wraps up our show here for Tuesday morning. Thanks a lot for joining us on Grain TV. Have a great rest of your day.